Ever thought about turning your YouTube hobby into like a money-making machine?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe you're just curious how these creators actually, get paid.
Yeah.
Well, today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of YouTube monetization.
Okay.
And you might be surprised to learn it's not as simple as just, racking up views.
It's true. There's a whole strategy behind it, a real business side that most viewers never even see.
Our guide today is a blog post from Marquez.app
Okay.
titled Unlocking the Secrets: How to Earn Money from YouTube Views in 2024. Now, what's interesting here is that Marquez.app is like a platform for resellers, so this adds a unique angle to our dive today.
It does suggest that earning from YouTube can be woven into a larger entrepreneurial
Yeah.
strategy, not just a solo gig.
Right. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Most people have heard of the YouTube Partner Program,
Yeah.
or YPP. It's, the classic way to monetize through ads.
Yeah. Right. And the article mentions that for Pakistani creators, YouTube's ad rates can bring in around $18 for every 1,000 ad views.
Wow.
Now, that might not sound like much.
It's like pennies at a lemonade stand, right?
Exactly, but those pennies can add up,
Yeah.
when you're talking about millions of views.
Millions of views, yeah. But hold on, because this is where things get really interesting. The article outlines 8 other ways to make money on YouTube, beyond just of those ads.
Right, some of these are quite creative, like licensing your videos to other media platforms.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing your content pop up on TV. Or building a community that directly supports you through platforms like Patreon.
I've always wondered how Patreon works. It's like a modern-day version of those Renaissance patrons funding artistry.
Precisely. It allows, fans to become more deeply invested in your success.
Hmm.
And then there's affiliate marketing, which is huge these days. You recommend products to your audience, and you earn a commission when someone buys through your link.
So if ads aren't your style, or you want multiple income streams, these options are definitely worth exploring.
Definitely.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
But before we get too far ahead, let's connect this back to Marquez.app. They allow people to become online resellers without the hassle of managing inventory or shipping.
Mm-mm.
And the article suggests that YouTubers could even integrate Marquez into their strategy.
Absolutely. A YouTuber could easily become a Marpaz influencer,
Okay.
showcasing the platform to their audience, or even become a reseller themselves.
So you can have like a cooking channel and then offer the ingredients or the kitchen gadgets you use directly through Marquez.
Exactly. It blurs the lines between content creation and commerce,
Right.
opening up new avenues for creators to, build sustainable businesses.
Wow. Okay, let's get back to the YouTube Partner Program itself.
Yeah.
The article lays out the eligibility requirements.
Right.
And there's actually quite a few.
Yeah.
First off, you need to activate 2-step verification for your Google account, which is just good security practice anyway.
And you absolutely have to adhere to YouTube's monetization policies.
Right.
They're the rule book for what can be monetized. And YouTube is very strict about this.
Makes sense. You also need to live in a region where the program is available,
Yeah.
which thankfully includes Pakistan. And of course, you can't have any community guideline strikes on your channel.
No.
Those are like red flags for YouTube.
Right. They want to ensure that creators are producing quality content and, playing by the rules.
Okay, now for a couple of big ones, you need at least 4,000 public watch hours in the past year.
Yeah.
And you need to link a Google AdSense account to your channel.
Now, the 4,000 watch hours, that's not just about subscriber count. It shows you're creating content people actually want to watch. And AdSense is the platform Google uses to manage ad revenue
Oh, yeah?
and ultimately pay you.
4,000 hours. That seems like a lot for someone just starting out.
Yeah.
I can see why some creators might find that daunting.
It's definitely a commitment.
Yeah.
But it ensures that those in the program are serious about building an audience and creating quality content. YouTube wants to make sure the program stays valuable for everyone involved,
Yeah.
both creators and advertisers.
So you've hit all the requirements, you're officially in the YPP, and you're starting to see those earnings come in. But how do you actually get paid? Does YouTube just send you a check?
Not quite. It's all handled through your linked AdSense account.
Yep.
And here's a key thing a lot of people misunderstand.
Sure.
You don't get paid instantly. Your earnings accumulate over time.
Right.
And AdSense pays out monthly once you hit a certain threshold.
So patience is key. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly. Building a successful YouTube channel takes time and consistency.
And what is that magic threshold for getting paid?
You need to earn at least $100 before AdSense sends you a payment. So again, patience and a long-term vision are crucial here.
Okay, that makes sense. You got to play the long game. Now, the article also lays out some best practices for earning money on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to hear your take on these. Of course, it all starts with creating high-quality content that people actually want to watch.
Right.
But what are some tips you'd give someone just starting out?
Well, besides the obvious need for great content, you need to find your niche.
Okay,
What are you passionate about? What audience are you trying to reach? Once you know that, consistency is key. Establish a regular upload schedule to keep your audience engaged and coming back for more.
that makes sense. If someone knows when to expect new content, they're more likely to subscribe and stick around.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of optimizing your video titles and descriptions with relevant keywords.
Oh,
Think of it like this. You're making it easier for people to find your content when they're searching on YouTube.
gotcha.
It's all about discoverability.
Like putting up a big sign that says, hey, check out my video. This is what you're looking for.
Exactly. And once you start getting those views, engage with your audience.
Yeah.
Respond to comments, ask for feedback, build a community around your content. It shows you're not just broadcasting, you're actually connecting with the people who are watching.
I think a lot of creators underestimate that connection aspect. It's not just about throwing content out there.
Right.
It's about building relationships.
And collaboration with other creators can be huge, especially when you're just starting out.
Okay.
You can tap into new audiences, cross-promote your content, learn from others.
It's like teamwork for YouTubers.
It is. It's a win-win.
Now, we've talked about the YouTube Partner Program,
Yeah,
but we also touched on those alternative monetization strategies.
right?
It seems like diversifying your income streams is a smart move.
Absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. Explore memberships, merchandise, sponsorships,
Yeah.
and those unique platforms like Marquez.app. The more diverse your income, the more stable your business will be, especially if YouTube's algorithms change or the advertising market fluctuates.
Okay, last but not least, let's tackle two important metrics, RPM and CPM. I've always struggled to keep them straight.
It's a common confusion. RPM stands for revenue per mil, which is essentially your total earnings per 1,000 views.
Okay,
From all sources, ads, memberships, everything.
so it's a big picture view of your monetization,
Yeah.
not just ad revenue.
Right. Now, CPM, or cost per mil, is what advertisers pay to display their ads on YouTube.
So CPM is more from the advertiser's perspective, while RPM is the creator side of the equation.
Precisely. CPM is a measure of how much advertisers value reaching your audience, while RPM shows how much you're actually making from those views.
Got it. I think I finally have them figured out. But honestly, if you're just starting out, don't get too hung up on these metrics. Focus on creating awesome content, building your audience, and experimenting with different ways to monetize.
I agree. Don't get lost in the numbers game too early on. Focus on the fundamentals, and the results will follow.
So we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's still more to explore. Stay tuned as we continue our deep dive into the world of YouTube monetization. Welcome back. Now, I'm really fascinated by these alternative monetization strategies, especially the idea of licensing videos.
Yeah.
It's amazing to think something you create could end up, on TV or even in a documentary.
It is. It's a testament to the power of original content. If you're creating something unique and engaging,
Right.
there's a market for it beyond just YouTube.
The article mentions Jukin Media,
Oh, yeah.
a company known for licensing viral video.
Yeah,
So if you happen to capture that once-in-a-lifetime moment on camera, there's potential there.
absolutely. And then we have fan funding, which has really taken off in recent years. Platforms like Patreon allow you to build direct relationships with your most dedicated fans, those who are willing to, support your work financially.
So it's not just about getting a one-time donation.
Right.
It's about creating a community of patrons who believe in what you're doing.
Exactly. It cultivates a sense of shared ownership and gives fans a way to actively participate in your success.
What I find interesting is that it's not just about money, it's about fostering a deeper connection between creators and their audience.
Absolutely. And for creators who are just starting out or maybe want to fund a specific project,
Yeah.
crowdfunding can be a powerful tool.
I've seen so many creative projects come to life through platforms like Kickstarter and GoFundMe.
Oh, yeah.
It's really democratized the process of, content creation.
It's given a voice to those who might not have had access to traditional funding models. But let's loop back to affiliate marketing for a moment. You
Yeah.
mentioned it earlier, and I think it's worth, exploring further.
Yeah. Seems like everyone's doing it these days. Is it really as lucrative as it sounds?
It can be, but it's important to approach it authentically. The key is to recommend products you genuinely believe in, things that align with your content and your values.
I can see how that would be crucial. You don't want to come across as just like trying to sell something to your audience.
Exactly. It's about building trust and maintaining your integrity as a creator. Now, remember that unique angle we talked about earlier, the Marquez connection.
Uh-huh.
I'm really intrigued by how this platform could, change the game for YouTubers.
Me too. It seems like a natural fit for creators who are already, comfortable recommending products to their audience.
Marquez.app essentially allows anyone to become an online reseller without having to deal with the logistics of, inventory or shipping.
Right.
You choose products from their catalog, set your prices, and sell through your social networks.
So it's like drop shipping,
Yeah.
but with like a more user-friendly interface and a curated selection of products.
Precisely. And the article suggests two ways YouTubers can leverage Marquez.
Okay.
They can become influencers, promoting the platform and its products to their audience, or they can become resellers themselves.
Imagine incorporating those products seamlessly into your content.
Right.
Like, let's say you have a beauty channel. You could do a makeup tutorial using products from Marquez and then provide a link for viewers to buy them directly.
It's a brilliant way to monetize your passion and, make it easy for your audience to support you.
Okay, so we've talked about the YouTube Partner Program and some alternative ways to make money, but now I want to get, practical.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone who's, just starting out on their YouTube journey?
Well, first and foremost, create content you're passionate about.
Yeah.
If you're not excited about it, your audience won't be either.
That's so true. Authenticity shines through.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned earlier, finding your niche is crucial.
Right.
It's about focusing your efforts and becoming known for something specific.
Right. It's about building a brand around your expertise or your, unique perspective.
Exactly. Once you've found your niche, consistency is key. Establish a regular upload schedule to keep your audience engaged and coming back for more.
It's all about creating those viewing habits, making your content part of their routine.
And don't forget about optimizing your video titles and descriptions with those keywords we talked about.
Right.
It's like creating a roadmap for viewers to find your content amidst, the sea of videos out there.
So you're saying SEO is just as important for YouTube as it is for, any other website?
Absolutely. And once you start getting those views, remember to engage with your audience, responding to comments, asking for feedback. Creating a sense of community around your content can make a huge difference.
I think that's something a lot of new creators overlook.
Yeah.
It's not just about putting content out there. It's about building those relationships.
Right. And don't be afraid to collaborate with other creators in your niche. You can cross-promote each other's content, learn from each other's experiences, and tap into new audiences.
It's like building a support system within the YouTube community.
Exactly. Now, here's a piece of advice I wish someone had given me when I was starting out.
Okay.
Don't get too hung up on the numbers.
I think we all fall into that trap at some point.
Yeah.
It's easy to get obsessed with views and subscribers.
It's natural to want to see those numbers go up, but it's important to focus on the bigger picture.
Right.
Are you creating content you're proud of?
Right.
Are you connecting with your audience? Are you making a positive impact?
Those are the things that matter most in the long run.
Absolutely. And remember, YouTube is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
Stay curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to experiment with new features and strategies. What works today might not work tomorrow.
Right.
So be adaptable and be willing to learn.
That's great advice. Don't be afraid to try new things and see what resonates with your audience.
Now, we've talked about the creative side of YouTube,
Right.
but let's not forget the business aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You are running a business, whether you realize it or not.
So how do you approach YouTube from an entrepreneurial mindset?
It's about treating your channel like a business. Set goals, track your progress, analyze your data, and make adjustments along the way.
So it's not just about uploading videos and hoping to the best.
Exactly. You need a strategy,
Right.
a plan for growth, and a willingness to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of YouTube.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, we've touched on this before, but I want to dig a little deeper into the concept of of diversifying your income streams.
Yeah.
You mentioned memberships, merchandise, sponsorships, and platforms like Marquez. Can you elaborate on those?
Absolutely. Memberships allow your most dedicated fans to support you directly in exchange for exclusive perks,
Okay.
like behind the scenes content, early access to videos, or even, merchandise discounts.
It's like creating like a VIP club for your superfans.
Exactly. And then you have merchandise, which is a great way to build brand awareness and generate revenue.
I've seen YouTubers selling everything from t-shirts and hoodies
Oh, yeah.
to like mugs and phone cases.
It's a way to, extend your brand beyond the screen.
Right.
And give your fans something tangible to connect with.
So it's not just about making money from the merch itself.
Right.
It's about building that connection and strengthening your brand.
Precisely. And then you have sponsorships where brands pay you to feature their products or services in your videos.
That's where those pre-roll ads and like product placements come in, right?
Exactly. But it's important to be selective about sponsorships.
Yeah.
And only work with brands that align with your values and your audience's interests.
I can see how that would be crucial for, maintaining authenticity and trust.
Absolutely. And finally, we have platforms like Marquez.app,
Right.
which offer a unique way to monetize your audience by becoming like an influencer or a reseller.
We've talked about Marquez a lot already, but can you give us a quick, recap for those who might have missed it?
Sure. Marquez.app is a platform that allows anyone to become an online reseller
Okay.
without the hassles of traditional e-commerce.
Right.
You can choose from a wide variety of products, set your own prices, and sell through your social media channels or even your own website.
So it's essentially drop shipping,
Yeah,
but with a more, curated and user-friendly approach.
exactly. And it's a great option for YouTubers who are looking to diversify their income streams and create a more holistic brand experience for their audience.
So it's not just about making money from YouTube ads.
Right.
It's about building a multifaceted business that leverages your platform and your influence.
Precisely. And the key takeaway here is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to YouTube monetization.
Yeah.
The best strategy is the one that aligns with your goals, your values, and your audience.
So it's about finding the right, mix of monetization methods that work for you and your channel.
Exactly. Now, remember those two key metrics we discussed earlier,
Yeah.
RPM and CPM. They can be helpful tools for, tracking your progress and understanding your earnings.
Can you remind us what those stand for again?
Sure. RPM stands for revenue per mil,
Right.
which represents your total earnings per 1,000 views from all sources, including ads, memberships, and everything else.
So it's a holistic view of your monetization efforts.
Right. And CPM, or cost per mil, is what advertisers pay to display their ads on YouTube.
So CPM is more from the advertiser's perspective.
Exactly. It reflects the value that advertisers place on reaching your audience.
Gotcha.
Now, knowing the difference between RPM and CPM can help you focus your monetization strategy.
Okay.
For example, if your CPM is low, maybe focus on affiliate marketing or merchandise sales, where your RPM can be higher.
That's a great tip. So it's not just about tracking the numbers, it's about understanding what those numbers mean and using them to make strategic decisions.
Exactly. And remember, these metrics can fluctuate, so don't get too discouraged if you see, dips or spikes. Focus on creating great content and
Right.
building a loyal audience,
Yeah.
and the numbers will follow.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the basics of the YouTube Partner Program,
Right.
explored alternative monetization strategies, and even delved into some practical tips for success.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet. There's still more to explore in the fascinating world of YouTube monetization. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been, unpacking the ins and outs of YouTube monetization, but now I kind of want to shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy to get, caught up in the numbers and the strategies and all that.
Yep.
But it's important to remember that there are real people behind those channels pouring their, hearts and souls into their work.
It's a whole creative ecosystem and, like any creative field,
Right.
there are ethical considerations to keep in mind.
Absolutely. And one of the key issues that comes up is the responsibility YouTube has to, protect creators from exploitation.
Especially, as the platform has become so massive and, commercialized,
Right.
there's always a risk, especially for like new creators,
Yeah.
of being pressured into deals that aren't in their best
Yeah,
interests.
right. You might feel pressured to like accept unfair revenue splits with those multi-channel networks or MCNs.
Wait, can you explain what an MCN is? I've heard the term,
Yeah.
but I'm not totally clear on like what they do.
Sure. An MCN is basically a company that partners with multiple YouTube channels offering things like production support, promotion, and help with monetization.
Okay.
They can be helpful, especially for creators who are, just starting out.
Right.
But they also take a cut of your earnings.
So it's like having an agent, but for YouTube.
Kind of, but it's important to, do your research and make sure you understand the terms of the agreement before, signing up with an MCN.
So it's about like knowing your worth and not being afraid to negotiate for, what you deserve.
Exactly. And it's also about prioritizing your, creative integrity.
Right.
Don't compromise your vision or your values just for the sake of a deal.
That's such an important point. And it brings us back to the responsibility, YouTube itself has in creating a fair and transparent environment for creators.
Transparency is key. YouTube needs to be clear about its policies, its algorithms, and how its revenue-sharing models actually work.
Right.
They need to give creators the tools and information they need to make, informed decisions about their careers.
It's about leveling the playing field and making sure everyone has a fair shot at success, regardless of their size or background.
Right, and it's also about fostering a culture of, respect and collaboration, where creators feel supported by the platform and by each other.
I love that sense of community. Now, while there are so many, positive aspects to YouTube, we'd be remiss if we didn't acknowledge some of the potential, like, challenges that creators face.
Of course, one of the biggest challenges is, the constantly changing landscape of the platform itself. YouTube's algorithms are notoriously unpredictable.
Yeah.
And they can change on a dime.
It's like you're constantly trying to solve a puzzle that keeps, like, changing its shape.
Exactly. And that can make it really tough for creators to, plan ahead or predict how their content will perform.
It can feel like you're on a treadmill, constantly creating and uploading just to keep up.
And then there's the issue of competition.
Right.
With millions of creators vying for attention, it can be incredibly difficult to stand out from the crowd.
It's a constant hustle.
Yeah.
And it can be easy to burn out.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, juggling YouTube with other commitments like work or family.
Burnout is a real issue in this industry. It's so important for creators to prioritize their, mental and emotional well-being, to set boundaries, and to, take breaks when needed.
I think it's easy to get, caught up in the pressure to constantly create and engage.
Right.
It's important to remember that you're human, not like a content machine.
Exactly. And it's also important to remember that, success on YouTube isn't just about the numbers.
Right. It's not just about views and subscribers. It's about creating something you're proud of, connecting with an audience that appreciates your work, and hopefully, making a positive impact on the world.
Beautifully said. It's about finding fulfillment in the creative process itself rather than, getting caught up in the chase for metrics.
So what does all of this mean for you, the listener? Well, if you're, thinking about starting a YouTube channel or you're already on that journey, it's important to go in with your eyes wide open.
Understand the challenges, be aware of the, ethical considerations, and don't be afraid to ask for help or advice from, others who have been there before.
And most importantly, don't lose sight of your passion. Create content you love, build a community that supports you, and enjoy the ride.
This conversation brings up a fascinating question.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for monetization on platforms like YouTube?
Hmm.
Given the constant evolution of the digital landscape, it's hard to predict what new opportunities will emerge.
That's a great question to ponder. As technology advances, we might see the rise of, new platforms, new tools, and new ways to, connect with audiences and generate revenue.
Perhaps we'll see a shift towards more interactive content.
Yeah.
or personalized experiences tailored to, individual viewers. The possibilities are endless.
The future of content creation is exciting, and those who are willing to adapt, innovate, and stay true to their vision will be the ones who thrive.
I couldn't agree more. Keep exploring, keep creating, and never stop learning. The world needs your unique voice and your creative spark.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of YouTube monetization. We hope you found this exploration insightful and empowering. Now go out there and make your mark on the world.